Does anyone else feel like COD Zombies is kind of bland now? I don't want to say soulless, but it's kind of like, I don't know, vanilla ice cream. Like, it's okay, but where are the toppings, you know? And I'm not even talking from a core gameplay perspective, because I'm not talking too much about the Omni movement or the gunsmith or matchmaking, whatever. I'm talking about the atmosphere. You know, the word that everyone that snuggles up to Cold War and Black Ops 6 treats as a slur. I'm kind of kidding, but there is some truth to that. But anyways, you know, that word that everyone that isn't satisfied with the zombies nowadays throws around. I think the kids around the neighborhood call it aura. Whatever you want to call it, I'm going to use it for zombies today, but I do have a little bit to say that applies to multiplayer too. And while I honestly believe the new formula of Black Ops Zombies, like the point system and weapon rarities, also affect the overall experience, I'm going to try to keep examples of those to a minimum, unless it seems like they also coincide with the atmospheric issues. And I don't want this to seem like it's just another negative, COD is dead, here's why, complainy, blame truthy video. I like for this to more so just be a sort of discussion, because these are my feelings on the newest CODs and, you know, what I feel is like a problem or what's they're not doing well. And I just want to get it off my chest. But I love to hear everyone's opinions, like obviously similar and opposing, and if so, why, and everything like that. Because there's definitely a few different things causing a lot of people to lose interest in COD, and a lot of people argue it's because, oh, you're just getting older, oh, you just can't adapt to the changes of an evolving series. And no. And this ain't a nostalgia thing, like all the people opposing this viewpoint will say, and I hate that answer anyways, because it always seems like it's just a cop-out response to ignore any actual criticism or examples you want to give. I know it ain't nostalgia because I still go back and play these older games and they still hold up. They still have it. They got the pizzazz. I can use my big boy brain to distinguish what about the game is good, and if there were things going on, say in my life, you know, where these nostalgia claimers try to point out, no, I'm able to differentiate. I liked this because I was a kid and, you know, life was easier. It's like, no, I can separate that. I'm not stupid. But it's just newer COD is getting stale. You know, they left the bread bag untied on the counter too long. It's drying out. The magic's faded, and in Zombies' case, I mean that as literally as possible. But that wasn't even really the case in the older maps for World at War and most of Black Ops 1, because it didn't need skyscraper-sized Lovecraftian ghouls in the Scarlet Skybox, or dragons flying around fighting drunk Russians in Gundams, or zombified dogfights going on in the air while 3 enormous fucking Pacific Rim war machines marched through the map. All it took was a creepy setting, and back then they could actually deliver. I don't really entirely know what it is about these new maps, but it's just missing or lacking to some capacity or another. It looks like they try, but they just aren't succeeding. Except Liberty Falls, that one's just straight poop. I get that it's supposed to be right at the very start of the outbreak. I get it, I do, but it doesn't make me feel immersed because of that. At least the way they carried it out. I'm not impressed, I don't feel like I'm playing a zombies mode. This one is just the biggest offender of practically being a camo grinder. Nothing about it is redeeming, nothing about it is fun, nothing looks cool, there's no bold and brash art direction for my TikTok brain to gawk at. And this feels rather similar with almost every map. Terminus, it's at night, yippee, great, 2 thumbs up. Now I don't even advocate for maps to be at night to have a good atmosphere. I understand and also believe daytime and sunset maps can be great too. Verrückt is a phenomenal example of that. I know people don't like facilities too much, you know, they got burned out on it from Cold War. It's a facility, oh, it's a facility here. It's a town with a facility. But I actually thought they had the right idea for Terminus. Not the best execution to me, and to many others. Because I did like the labs underneath the prison. It gave me that feel of Resident Evil 2 when you go down to the Umbrella Labs beneath the sewers. It gave off a little of that. But there wasn't enough, and it just wasn't executed the best. Same for the prison portion, where your starting area. For what it wasn't too shabby, but again, it isn't the focus point of the map, so there ain't much of it. Now, here's where I thought they cracked the code. I liked Citadel. I actually liked it, not just, oh, it was okay, oh, blah, blah, blah. No, I liked it. The wonder weapons, the setting, the quest the map had you going on, hell, the map specific quotes, all of it. The only thing that ruined it for me was the amalgamations, and that's not really even an atmosphere problem. It had that sense of fantasy magic that older maps had, something that was interesting and attention-grabbing. Everybody likes a castle. I thought they really struck gold here, I would even say, and that they just had to follow suit to keep it up. And then the Tomb came out, and I felt like they went back a step. I'll say I found it better than Liberty Falls. I wasn't sure on if I liked the experience overall better than Terminus. Terminus I struggle with, honestly. Probably because I liked the other dimension world through the portals, whatever the hell it was called, the Dark Ether, Whoozy Doodad area. But the rest felt dull, like horrifically no substance. So it's honestly hard to say how I want to rank some of these. But it's a small area again. Like the outside, broad daylight. I know I said what I said about doesn't have to be at night, but I mean broad daylight. Nothing giving me the feeling of I'm in a zombie infested area here. Like add a haze in the air, have it be raining or cloudy, something that doesn't just feel like we plopped zombies into a random extra asset we had lying around. Lastly, Shattered Vale, or the Mansion, you know, people call it whatever. It's alright. I played it a couple times. It's probably the next closest one to Citadel, right now I can at least say. But it's still not close. It's the closest, but still not close. I would say Citadel is kind of in a tier of its own, to me personally. That one just actually scratched that itch that nothing's really been in the same ballpark as. Mansion, it's a good size, and I can even say I like what they were going for as the setting, but it's just missing that, like, I don't know, visual cue that I'm in a messy area with the undead lurking around every corner. I really have a hard time pinning what is missing to make it feel atmospheric enough. I like the wonder weapons, even though they're both freaking, you know, old wonder weapons. If I could get them, which is one of my not really atmospheric problems, you can't get these things from the box to save your life. I get it, I get their strong weapons, and that even feels debatable depending on the wonder weapon, but why is it a fucking 0.01 chance now? I roll that box like 100 times and never get a wonder weapon. Option to build them aside, it should not be that difficult that I blow through my money to no success and waste tens of thousands of points after my ass has ran to new box locations 6 different times while being chased and smacked by a super sprinter every fucking 2 nanoseconds, which breaks my armor, that I then have to spend my other currency salvage on. So then if I actually decide to try a different weapon, if it isn't max rarity, I have to spend time getting more salvage before I can make it useful through rarity. But then after wasting all that money on the box, I can't afford to pack it more than one level, so it's still a pea shooter, and I ultimately end up with no resources and an underpowered weapon that I then have to waste money on to buy more ammo from an ammo box. But since I do that, I won't be able to pack it any more times since the money is going towards ammo instead. I'm sorry, does this sound fun yet? I digress. Getting a bit off topic of the aura. You know what helps the experience and the aura by impacting the situation you're in? It's the character who you're playing as. And I gotta tell you, these characters are shit. Weaver's mid, and that's about it. Voice lines are a majority buns, uninteresting, not funny or witty or badass, anything as you could want for them to actually, you know, seem like a fun character to be playing as in this setting. You know who actually looked cool and fun to play as? Ravenov. And he's not even given the side character treatment. Bro has a cameo to make Cold War players Soyjack point at in one of the Citadel cutscenes, and that's about it. And I wouldn't bother trying any other goober operators that aren't directly related to the story, because then you're just getting junk like Tactical Gumball acquired. So yeah, not much going on there that's good either. Lastly, what is up with the guns nowadays, man? Oh, they feel great to use. The sound design is awesome. Overall perfection. I'm glad you think so, because I think no. And I don't know, I shouldn't say no exactly to that statement specifically, actually, but why is, you know, every reload the fucking same? And every gun looks and somewhat feels the same. I feel like it's just fucking copy-paste almost. This is the other reason it seems so stale. When every reload is, I pulled the first mag out with the second one in my hand and popped the second one in. Honestly, look at this. I mean, it's so freaking boring. And where are my cool, unique reloads like the good old days? Now, I know that's another one of those typical statements from my side's argument, but seriously, when every gun has practically the same identity with a little 5 to 10% difference, how does anything feel fun and different to shake things up? Now, I know that an empty mag reload is sometimes different. Awesome, great, thank fuck for that. But still, I feel like every gun is the SpongeBob Viking episode. It's like, this one's Olaf, Olaf, Olaf. And then there's that one unique gun over there in the corner. It's fucking Gordon. I get that the guns thing may be a bit debatable on whether or not it counts as something affecting the atmosphere or whatever. I personally believe they are because, you see your gun all the time. So if I see the same damn boring, almost identical design with the almost the same boring reload on every map, I honk shoe quicker, I miss when maps had specific unique guns too, not just the wonder weapons. Buried had the Remington pistol and that one-shot LSAT wall buy in the spawn. You make it or break it. Or when Zombies Chronicles and Black Ops 3 added older guns like RPK, PPSH, AK-74U were in the boxes on some of those Chronicles maps. Why aren't they doing this? Even to at least some capacity. Like, why don't they add the weapon skins that they have of the Thompson and STG, or the VMP that they had for like the Prestige Awards? Why not add those to the box or wall buys instead of me either having to start the match with it or not use it at all? I don't know. I would say maybe it's just me, but clearly it isn't. It's a good majority. But I also know there's still a lot of people who get enjoyment out of it. And all I can say is, good for you, and I honestly even envy you. I believe what I had to say is all fair issues and criticisms, things worth pointing out, whatever you want to call it. But there's no doubt there are people who disagree, or even think I'm a moron. But either way, I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think, because I'd just love to hear anyone and everyone's differing opinions. It's instead of just being an echo chamber, but this is what I wanted to voice. And like the video too, or dislike it. You have the power after all. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you again soon.